Hey everybody, welcome to the Jbizzle show. Today, that stands for Jordan Bumgarner, by the way. See, right there. Yep, that's what it stands for. Not what you were thinking out there, man, with your nugs and your bizzle. No, for real though. I don't know what I'm gonna be filming here, but I ain't got no idea. Um, but we cover stuff, so we're gonna cover some stuff. Like, for real, that kind of stuff right there. We're gonna cover it. So here we go. We're gonna cover some stuff. Okay, some stuff. Okay, guys, this video here, I posted a TikTok about. Well, you can see it 6 hours ago, and it's supposedly these kids were chased by an alien with a laser weapon. Now, this has been happening in Paracas, Peru, for about 2 months now. Men are shooting at these things. I do not know what's going on. But, as you can see, we're going to listen.
Acá tenía su cuchillo grande y acá tenía su lente, su láser. Su láser tenía. No querían enfocar. Y usted no estábamos a agachar y no querían enfocar así. No estábamos a agachar. Había un chiquitito claro. Estaba así. Estaba haciendo así. Y él pasó por ahí. Vamos, como que no estuvo ahí, vamos, correr por allá. No querían lograr, ya no llegaba su láser. Ya no llegaba hasta allá. Vamos a ir corriendo.
Okay, did you hear that? He said they were trying to light us up. Like, how does that kid know what lighting someone up is? I mean, and he had his laser gun? What are we talking about here? I mean, this sounds absolutely bananas, but this ain't the only stuff. So I'll show you what's been going on for the last couple months in Peru. This kind of will be the show today. That's what we'll do.
Nos queríamos ir abajo.
Yo cuando yo vení de la reunión, yo les estaban asustados, de verdad, pues estaban asustados. ¿Qué tienes, hijito? Mamá dice acá, visto algo.
A las 4
de noche. Estaban asustados, pero eso mi hijito nunca miente, siempre dice la verdad. Mamita dice la verdad. ¿Ah? Sí, no, yo le llevaba y ellos han venido con sus amiguitos, estaban jugando acá sentados. Ellos han visto así como un bulto negro abajado, así como ese palo de allá hay una oscuridad, un palo así han visto.
Pero dice ellos también la han reconocido, si está diciendo que tenía su cuchillo.
Así, eso, todo.
Acá tenía un cuchillo chiquitito.
¿Y qué es? ¿Un gringo? ¿Qué cosa?
Era un gringo, era todo blanco y acá era puro negro, pez fierro. Y acá era pez congelado. Acá era congelado.
Listen, what are they describing? He was all white, and then he had a black suit that was fish scaled, and he has a little egg? What in the world are we talking about?
Un huequito y acá tenía su láser. Acá tenía su láser y su congelado.
En su, como un visor tendrá capaz de noche, ¿no? Que mira, hay un
visor.
visor
Lo que dice como un visor.
Si este visor te permite ver de noche, ¿no?
Como llega tarde, un poco tarde ya tenemos.
Ajá.
Porque está medio oscuro el clima.
Sí, no es verdad, nunca mi hijita habla mentira, siempre yo le dejo, nunca ha visto ese tipo de cosas.
Ahora tienen que reunirse para ver cómo está.
Están llamando, ¿no?
Sí, ¿no?
Están llamando.
Sí, profesor, eso, mi hijito nunca hace tipo.
Es un negro encapuchado. Negro.
Alright, guys, so there you go. I mean, what is going on in Paracas, Peru? For real. I'm going to show you another video I found the other day. Okay, guys, this one here. This is another one. Now, this is a quick, short one, but I'm just going to go ahead and kind of relate the details to you before I play it. What's happening here is they're describing another entity, and they say that lights shine out of it. There's also some pictures been took of this entity. Every time they fire at it, they say they shoot up to the sky. And now the community and all the fathers and mothers are organizing at this school so that they can decide what they're going to do about this. Because they've been asking for help from people for like 2 months. It's not a joke. They have been There's been videos all over the place about it.
Enseñé que viste el pelo acá. Io le appunte así, le veo una persona brilla, brilla, y aquí, enseñé que viste el pelo.
So he said it shines from basically your waist up till about its neck. And man, I mean, this just absolutely crazy. There's even more stuff I'm gonna show you though. So let's hop into it. So I've been covering this for like 2 months, guys, for real. This lady here is claimed to have been shot by one of these things. New attack in Peru reported. Alien attack. Guys,
Un hecho extraño alarmó el fin de semana a las familias de la localidad de Santa Ana del Río Mayo, luego que una madre de familia.
So let's let it play again. So basically what's happening is they're claiming this lady was shot by a laser weapon and it electrocuted her when it hit her. Like stunned her really hard. So there is all kinds, and I mean all kinds of these crazy videos about Peru right now and what is going on there. And I believe there's some ancient stuff there in Paracas, Peru that's pretty interesting. Like if you've ever watched the Ancient Alien stuff, Paracas, Peru is one of those places where they have some kind of ancient alien stuff there. It's pretty wild. We'll look into that too, but I got some more new modern things that's been going on. I've tried to keep up with it over the last 2 months to kind of, give everybody an idea of what's being said, whether it's true or not. I mean, because if this is true, this is mind-blowing stuff. I mean, and honestly, if you were to ask me, in my opinion, what something like this would be, something like this would, to me, would be more of like a fallen angel or angel type entity. Because when they say they shot it, it shot back up into the sky. Now, I mean, these people aren't stupid. I mean, they have a school. They don't live exactly like us, but they're not stupid. Okay? They got cell phones, and everything, I mean, these people aren't stupid. Okay? They know what a spaceship looks like. It's not like it's tribal people who've never seen an airplane. Okay? So we're not dealing with that. That is not what we're dealing with. Let's just go into some more stuff. Alright, guys. So so since we have this going on with Paracas, Peru, I also want to let you hear about the WikiLeaks document that suggests that Werner von Braun tries to warn us that the government would try to perpetrate a fake alien invasion on us. Going on in Peru, like I just said, and there were WikiLeaks documents. I just want to, add this in here too. So let's.
WikiLeaks documents suggest that Werner von Braun tried to warn us about a fake alien invasion. He admitted this on his deathbed. Dr. von Braun, pictured above, was a Nazi rocket scientist in secret spacecraft development plant at Peenemünde during World War II. Then Operation Paperclip recruited him as a high-level master aeronautical engineer in the 60s and early 70s. He's associated with the Apollo space program. He's the father of the rocket. And now we got the invasion happening in Peru and now in Turkey. And remember, months ago, I warned you guys about this, and I told you that how it will be in the days of Noah. That's Bible prophecy in the end times. And I explained that about the book of Enoch as well. WikiLeaks documents suggest that
that being said, I mean, do we really know what is going on? And the reason I was saying something about Turkey there is because this was to
Sına göre arkamızda görmüş olduğunuz bu araziye tanımlanamayan uçan bir cisim indi ve bu cismin içinden 3 kişi yere inerek aşağı yukarı 5-10 dakika burada gezindiler. Ardından da tekrar bu araca binip yükselip uzaklaştılar. Dehşet dolu anları birebir şahidinden Gani Çakır'dan dinleyeceğiz. Evet Gani Bey, şimdi sizin iddianıza göre yer burası sanırım değil mi?
Burası.
Bu tarlada. Siz burada ne işle meşgulsünüz? Nasıl meydana geldi olay?
Ben koruma gibi, bir bekçi gibi diyelim. Öyle.
Hı hı. Gece bekçiliği
Gece
yapıyorsunuz.
bekçiliği saat 1.30-2 sıralarında sessiz bir uçak gibi şey geliyor. Lamba tuttum ben. Acaba bu helikopter ne arıyor burada? Helikopter sandım ilk önce.
Evet.
İlk önce helikopter sandım. Bu dedim sessiz uçak ne arıyor burada? Lamba tuttum. Lamba tutunca bana yöneldi bunlar.
Lamba tuttum derken elinizdeki el feneri galiba değil mi? El feneriyle işaret vermek suretiyle.
Bunlar aynı yine işaretler uzaklaştı. Bu sefer tarlaya indiler. Tarlaya inince ben tabii kendim şey ettim. Sinyal verdim bunlara ben yine. Ve üstelik yani ne bırak ben indi bunlar 3-5 dakika 5-10 dakika durdular ve yerde ne alsam bilmiyorum yani lambaları nikelajlı gibi veya bir fosfor gibi bir şey yanıyor yani 3 kişi indiler içinden.
Biraz daha detay verebilirsiniz.
İnsan biçiminde ama üzerleri kamuflajlı yani hani böyle televizyona çıkıyor da altın renginde veya gümüş renginde bir beyaz elbise oluyor aynı o şekilde.
Parlak,
çok parlak. Çok parlak yani. Gündüz dahi gece dahi olsa parlıyor yani.
Evet.
Parlıyor.
Okay, so I want you to notice those kids and the people in Peru. They also said that they were wearing a suit, fish scale, so like shiny. And the other guy said that it shines light. And this guy said that it's glowing and it's shiny. So whatever it is the same thing that's happening in Peru was happening here.
Parlıyor ve 3 kişi indiler içinde aynı insan sıfatında yüzlerini görmedim. Yüzlerini görmedim ve 5-10 dakika gezdiler bindiler. Yine bana doğru yöneldi. Ben yine lamba tuttum. O zaman bunlar çekti. Bayındır Dağı'nın istikametine gittiler. Ben yine arkadan lamba tuttum. Lamba tutunca bunlar geri geldi. Dedi bunlar yani ses bulanık şekilde bizden oynama seni yok dediler. Ben bu sesi korktum.
Şimdi yanlış anlamıyorsam uzay aracından bir anons yapıldı
geldi.
size.
Anons geldi.
So he's saying that they threatened him basically. They told him, you know, they scared him to get him to go away.
Bu anons Türkçe olarak yapıldı.
Türkçe
Sizin
olarak,
anlayabileceğiniz
bulanık
şekilde.
Ben anladım yani. Yani bulanık şekilde yani. Bunlar çektiler gitti. Aynı geldik kesmeye gittiler yani geriye.
Peki gittikten sonra indiği yere gelip bir inceleme imkanınız oldu mu?
Yağmur yağıyordu. Yağmur yağıyordu.
Hava yağışlıydı.
Hava yağışlıydı, rüzgarlıydı yani hava.
Anladım.
Rüzgarlıydı. Yağmur yağıyordu.
Anladım. Peki bununla ilgili herhangi bir yere jandarmaya ne bileyim
Hayır hiçbir yere şey etmedim.
Bir yere başvurdunuz
Hiçbir yere
mu?
başvurmadım. Hiçbir yere başvurmadım. Bir polis hocamla samimi oldum. Bir ona başvurdum. O da size başvurunca tamam olay bundan ibaret oluyor.
Anladım. Peki daha önce siz bu bölgede yaşıyorsunuz.
Evet.
Daha önce böyle bir şey rastladınız mı?
Hayır hiçbir zaman. Ben destine ben inanmazdım.
Evet.
Ben inanmam.
Evet.
Yani bir şahıs gelecek inanmam yani. Ben kendi gözümle canlı ve onurlu şekilde detay şekilde gördüm yani.
You see, he's trying to say, you know, hey, I don't believe in these type of things. You know, I wish this wouldn't have happened to me. And I just noticed the date here. Maybe the WikiLeaks document is correct. Maybe they're trying to perpetrate on an alien invasion on these smaller communities at first to kind of test out and see how people are going to take it.
Gördüm.
Gördüğünüzden
Gördüm.
eminsiniz.
Eminim.
Peki bunu çevrenize anlattığınızda size tepkiler nasıl oldu?
Tepkiler bayağı bir tepki oldu yani. Sen neysin, ne yapıyorsun gece? Ondan sonra sen rüya görmüşsün, bilmem ne görmüşsün. Ben rüya çünkü biz gece bekçisi uyumak yok bizde.
Evet.
Biz uyuyamayız. Gece sabaha kadar yatmıyoruz yani. Geziniyoruz. Ondan sonra veya kahvaltı türü bir şey yapıyoruz. Yani
Sına göre arkamızda görmüş
So he checks all around, you know, trying to look for evidence. You know, maybe there was a burn mark, you know, something that was left behind to prove that, you know, he wasn't being just crazy. because people were saying that he was crazy and he was dreaming and all this, that, and the other. And that comes with the territory. I mean, anytime anything like this is reported, the majority of people are going to think that you're crazy. They're not going to believe you. I don't know that many will believe anything that I've said here in this podcast, but I'm not asking you to believe anything. I'm just reporting what's being told and trying to piece together the pieces to make some sense out of it for everybody. Because is it really aliens, or is it a government with another type of agenda? Because what kind of agenda, let's say, like the speech. We should do that. We'll go to the Ronald Reagan speech. Okay, let's jump into the Reagan speech.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war?
So yeah, I wanted you to hear that, because
in our obsession,
the agendas from a government, like, what are you trying to get from this? I mean, what if you're trying to perpetrate a fake alien invasion? What are you trying to push onto somebody? Why would you do that? Well, I have a couple reasons I think why. It's so that they could usher in more government control. Because if people believed that we were under alien threat, the martial law stuff would come into effect, and it would. It just would. And people would be scared to death. And so governments would start to, like, form together in coalitions of, like, maybe like the UN would turn into a governing body or something. And then you would have a world government type situation, because it's literally world versus world. That's what what they're trying to say. An alien world is coming here, so we must band together as the Earth and fight the alien world. So yeah, I just wanted you to understand that you cannot always believe what you see. Like those people that are seeing these stuff, and that stuff's happening to them in Peru, or the stuff happened in Turkey. Yeah, that probably happened to them. But who was behind it? You don't know. Unless you catch and capture one of these things, then you can interrogate them, and you might find out what the deal is. If it's earthly, or is it really from somewhere else, or some other type of being? I mean, you can't know without capturing an interrogation. So that's something that, for me to believe anything further, I would have to see some kind of capture and interrogation, and to know exactly what was going on. But also, if I was the government and I was trying to push this on somebody, I would fake capture something. And like, a lot of you probably don't know this, but they've had a cloning program in our government for about 30 years. They come out, they talk about cloning. Even some of these celebrities are made in a lab. They're literally test tube babies. Like, I know it sounds crazy to you, but it's true. And they do this because they can make somebody look so different. They can make them, like, specifically, like, they can mix like Indian and Southeast Asian, and like North Denmark, right? And then you have like this very rare person who nobody, it doesn't look like no one else you've seen before. That's the reason they do that type of thing. Okay? So, in talking about that, now they say that like there's this island, I believe it's called Plum Island, where they make these chimeras, and there's a guy that even says that like in Los Alamos, these things come down a belt, and like you'll see these parts, and the parts are then fused together. Well, like that's sort of like that about like what was it 60 70 years ago when that Russian guy put that like monkey head on that dog or whatever, or put some kind of human brain or something. It was something weird, okay? And when you go back into the Egyptian stuff, there's bird-headed people, crocodile-headed people, dog-headed people, and even in the Bible, it talks about the mighty men of Moab who had faces of lions, guys. Like, this is a chimeric type cloned thing, okay? You may think those people lived in the Stone Age, but that's not exactly what the biblical description is. Like, when Enoch and Noah is alive, there are a lot of chimeric beings that are there from the fallen angels breeding with the women, the plants, and the animals. And then they created these other offsprings, and those offsprings made giants. And that's where you get the giant king lions like Gilgamesh and things like that. And Gilgamesh had a friend that was like a monkey man of the wild. I can't even think of his name. But yeah, like, so the further along that technology gets, the stranger things become upon the earth. Like, because of the ability to do things that one would never imagine that technology would bring to a biological standpoint. Like, biologically, it's strange, it's weird, it's disturbing to even think or talk about, but you can hear some of these scientists talk about it, and maybe I can find that real quick. I know I watched a woman scientist talking about how all this seems so far fetched, but it's really not, and that the science is literally like right there at it. So let's see what else we can find here to add to the program to connect some more dots. Okay, guys, so here we go. I got something here for us. This is about Plum Island. It's a top secret government lab. Okay, this is super duper weird.
Less than 100 miles from New York City is Plum Island Lab. Here, the U.S. government conducts top-secret biological experiments. Most Americans are unaware of the facility, but it has been linked to an Al-Qaeda plot and an alarming past tied to Nazi scientists. Military technology expert John Gresham has been denied access to the island. Now he decides to view the lab from the air. Once airborne, it takes less than 2 minutes by helicopter to get from the tip of Long Island to Plum Island. Along the south side of the island are the abandoned ruins of the original lab run by the Nazi scientists. It now appears to be crumbling at the hands of the elements.
It's interesting how the government just abandons the things they don't really want, but the stuff they do want to take care of, they really take good care of.
Then they approach the main lab. There, John can see the measures that the government has taken to keep the facility secure.
Well, you can see how much they've expanded since 1950. Got a very large receiving and storage facility over here, which they're clearly using very actively.
John is left wondering if Plum Island is really the best place to keep a potentially dangerous facility. Back on the ground, John analyzes the video he shot.
This is a vulnerable island. It needs to be looked at and perhaps the facility moved.
The government does plan to move the bioresearch lab to a new facility that would be built in Kansas, but the plan has been stalled.
In so many ways, this is not a facility that folks in this densely populated part of America should be forced to live next to.
For now, Plum Island will remain open indefinitely. The danger of exposure to locals remains unchanged.
Okay, guys, so that there was something I wanted to show you, because what happens here so very often is on the shores of the whatever that's across from Plum Island, these weird creatures wash up on the shore, and I'm gonna show you some of them next. And just to kind of, and they're fishy looking too. Like, it's weird. I know we're getting really weird here. Okay, guys. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to just show you the weird things that happens on government facilities. And I think, in my opinion, it is a bad idea to move a biological weapons and testing facility to Kansas, where America's grain and like all that farming and food is. What if something gets out and then you've poisoned the food supply? So if I was Kansas, I think they're supposed to be moving that lab there in the next year or two. I'd be calling my congressmen and senators and tell them to keep that effing lab out in the water and keep it off Kansas soil. That's what I would do. So let's jump into this, and we won't watch all of it, and so that way we can just end the show at about 30 minutes. So let's jump into this. This thing's called the Montauk Monster.
2008, an unidentified hairless creature washed ashore near the town of Montauk, New York. Dubbed the Montauk Monster by the press, first a discussion centered on whether the creature was an...
Okay, guys, so this is what I'm talking about here. Look, this thing has a bird head with like a rat body. It literally has a beak.
elaborate hoax. However, talk soon shifted to whether this creature could have been from the mysterious Plum Island.
Yep.
At the time, it was the home to the Animal Disease Center just 2 miles from the American mainland. The center's administration had vigorously denied any involvement, yet the facility on the island had been accused of a string of unethical practices. From biological weapons testing to warped genetic practices. But if the monster wasn't a product of Plum Island experiments, what is it that they actually did? Plum Island was owned by a succession of families from 1659 until 1890, when it was given over for military use. The U.S. Army Chemical Corps began work on a series of laboratories in 1952 before ownership was transferred to the Department of Agriculture under advisement from one Eric Traub. Traub was a leading scientific light in Nazi Germany during World War II and had been suspected of working on the Axis biological warfare program. Soon after it opened in 1954, Plum Island began studies into foot and mouth disease. This was the same disease Traub was suspected to have worked to weaponize during the war. The official purpose of the facility was to research effective preventative measures against agricultural diseases. Given the devastating effect it would have on the economy, this isn't all that strange. That was until 2001, when one of the worst outbreaks of foot and mouth in the UK cost the British economy over $5.5 billion. However, local people had been increasingly concerned with Plum Island's other, less publicized activities. For decades, authorities denied reports that they had participated in biological warfare programs. This is despite allegations from Cuba that their agriculture had been infected by the US with the deadly Newcastle virus. The same Newcastle virus which Eric Traub, advisor to Plum Island, had worked on during the war. Documents uncovered by Newsweek magazine in 1993 appeared to confirm the suspicions of a history of bioweapons research. Officially, these programs were struck from the books in 1969 by President Richard Nixon. However, locals such as Randy Sykes were not convinced. The local area appeared to suffer from regular disease outbreaks. In 1978, Lyme disease appeared a mere 13 miles away from the facility and was quickly blamed by the sufferers. In 1999, the West Nile virus, another of Dr. Traub's areas of specialty, was found for the first time in the United States. Interestingly, the first record human cases in the US are cited on being found in Queens, New York, approximately 90 miles from Plum Island.
Okay, guys, so you see there how dangerous a place like this can be. And you see that nasty looking chimeric bird rat. Okay? That was in 2008. That was 15 years ago. Now, I don't have the video of the scientist talking about how all this is really possible, and within the next 10 years, you will definitely see things like that. If that don't freak you out, I don't know what does. But I'm just trying to put some dots on the board for you guys so that you don't immediately believe what the heck someone wants you to believe because they spun a daggum narrative and they wanted you to believe it. Anyway, it's been the Jbizzle Show. I hope you enjoyed today. Today we've took a break from our normal, what's going on in the world and what needs to change in the world to what's going on with alien stuff and the UFOs and all that stuff in the world. And I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun making it. So God bless you guys, and we'll see you Friday.